Black fatherhood, my kind of hood. We here to do work, and it sounded good, Sometimes you listen, most times you judge. Try to pick our names, about the mud, Black fatherhood, my kind of hood. We here to do work, and it sounded good, Sometimes you listen, most times you judge. Try to pick our names up.
About the mud, yeah. Love that intro, man. Love that intro. It's the Black Fatherhood. Welcome to episode 3 of the Black Fatherhood podcast, man. We back. Appreciate y'all for joining me here, man. This is another episode. It's going to be a good one, man. Nice and to the point. This is the first trimester. The first trimester is something that every black father will go through if they haven't gone through it already. Fathers to be, I'm talking to you. I'm looking right at you. I'm talking to you, fathers to be. There's a lot going on during this time for women, but there's also some things going on for men too, man. Trust me, it's nothing compared to what women go through, but there's definitely some things going on in the black fatherhood, man. Y'all really are going to find out some things today. There's not a whole lot of studies out there. There's not a whole boatload of articles out there for you, but there is some information. All you new fathers out there, feel free to Google that. Get to know what it's like from other fathers, other testimonials out there. I went myself and Googled some things and try to find out some things about what's going on in other people's lives, man. There's definitely a lot of information out there for white or European fathers. Can't find too much about black fathers, but luckily, I know black fathers. I am a black father, so I got some information for y'all right here for you. Black Fatherhood Podcast. I am your host, Ro Jones. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Black Fatherhood Podcast. We're doing this every single Monday, releasing an episode 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on buzzsprout.com. Black Fatherhood Podcast.buzzsprout.com. I always mess up that name. So just go to the link in the description on YouTube or Buzzsprout or wherever you're listening, and it'll be right there for you. And you can tune in, subscribe, download the podcast because, these analytics, these stats, they matter, man. They really do. So I really appreciate your patronage and everything y'all do to support the podcast. It's really appreciated. I'm getting a lot of love out there. I thank all y'all. I thank, Auntie LaShawn. I thank, Jordana Soliel. I thank my wife. You know what I'm saying? I thank a lot of people out here, man. Just good night. There's so many people out here helping me to put this thing together and support the podcast, support me on Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I love it, man. Thank you so much. And I can't do it without y'all. It takes a village, man. You got to join the hood. Make sure you join the hood on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, hit the bell notifications so you have notifications every time we are online, live or otherwise. Make sure you follow on Facebook at Black Fatherhood Podcast, Instagram at Black Fatherhood Podcast, and everywhere else at Black Fatherhood Podcast where podcasts are heard. Definitely check me out on iTunes, Apple Music, all of that, man. We everywhere. We out here. Gotta join in. You gotta listen, man. We got some special guests coming up in future episodes. I can't wait to give y'all this new content that I got recorded and coming up for y'all, man. It's gonna get better and better, definitely. And we're gonna make sure to keep it rocking. Stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned. Right now, we're talking about the first trimester. The first trimester is that first 13 weeks, the first 13 weeks, and not too many people talk about what happens to men during those times. You can find an article here and there, because it's now that fathers are more involved and you got women out here making more money than men in some cases. Now you got men who are comfortable staying home and comfortable doing a lot of the stuff that were traditionally done by women, in this country at least. And now you got men stepping up doing all types of stuff. So now we got more information about what men do, what men go through, but I want to make sure to keep that conversation going. I don't hear too many people talking about it, especially not black men. Oh, that conversation is scary, man. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. You know, last episode we talked about men's feelings when they first became a father. Put a clip on YouTube. Go check that out about those pre-baby feelings, those feelings that you get before the child comes when you first find out that your partner's pregnant. Deep, man. It's a lot going through your head. You don't know how to feel, how to react. Some people react the right way. Some people react the wrong way. There's no right or wrong way, but, you know, to each his own. It's definitely relative, but, you know, there's some things I can say that are probably wrong, but that's just my own opinion. There's really no right or wrong way. You just react how you react, you know? Hopefully you know your partner well enough to react the quote-unquote right way. I really hope so, man. Definitely. So this first trimester, the first 13 weeks, there's a lot going on, you know? It's like a magical combination going on internally with a woman. You know, and it involves egg fertilization, a fallopian tube, placenta generation, and things that I don't even know what's going on down there, in there. I don't even know what's going on in there at all, man. It's just a lot going on. I could tell y'all more, but, you know, do your research, like they'd say. Just do your research. There's a lot going on. It's a magical, magical time in a woman's body, you know, and it takes many weeks for that baby to be realized. You know, the first couple weeks, you know, the body's really going through some interesting changes for a woman, and men can't even conceive what's really going on in there. You know, the only thing we can do is be supportive, and just be mindful of everything that's going on with the woman. You know, just be mindful of the signals she gives you. Be mindful of what the doctors and nurses tell you. Definitely listen to your village, your friends and family who are experienced in this area, and let them know. They'll let you know what they went through. Hopefully, just ask questions. Definitely ask questions. Not enough people ask questions. You can Google all you want. I Googled. You know, my wife Googled too. She found out a lot of information about what's going on in her body, things she's supposed to be going through, different steps to take. And I'm glad she did that because she sent me things along the way. The whole journey, I'm getting texts full of links and all types of stuff, man. It's just a lot of stuff going on with women during that time. So we have to be mindful, and we have to, you know, just make sure we support her. Also, when she's not around, we got to be supportive of each other. Sometimes a lot of that support is not really there. You know, maybe you have some male figures in your life that could tell you some things, or they might just be dismissive and be like, hey, boy, listen, you're going to go through some things, and after those things happen, then you're done, and then the baby's here. I'm like, I don't know what to take from that, man. I don't know where to go after that. You tell me something like that, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? We need more information out there. You know, this thing's happening that you can't describe. You know, it's the pregnancy, the inside of a woman's body during pregnancy is probably the most disgustingly beautiful process known to man. You know, there's nothing more beautiful and disgusting at the same time. I guarantee that, man. Inside during the first few weeks, or probably during the whole pregnancy, and once that baby come out, oh my God, there's just so many things going on. Y'all will find out. Y'all first-time fathers will definitely find out, man. You know, go on YouTube. You know, you don't gotta just subscribe to me. Go on YouTube and find some videos, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They definitely allow that kind of stuff on YouTube, man. I'm not gonna tell you how I know. Friend told me. I swear it was a friend. Go check it out, man. Please go check that out. It'll just prepare you a little bit, just a little bit, to know, you know, some of what's going on when that baby comes out. I can't wait for y'all to see that, man. Do some videos, some reaction videos for that, man. I would love to see that, or would I? But anyway, this first trimester is going to be a trying time. There's things that, you know, people can't even really tell you everything that's going on. You're just going to have to go through it. Like I said, there's so much information for what women go through. That's definitely a fact. But what's not out there is an abundance of information about what men go through, you know? I mean, do we really go through anything at all? I think we do. I think we do, definitely. Well, you know, many people will say we don't. You can say that. I'm sure there's men who don't really go through anything at all. But some will say, you know, men might gain sympathy weight as long as we're present, some might say we'll get depressed or irritable. Sometimes men will act like they're carrying a baby, which is weird and crazy, but it might happen. I've watched TV shows growing up, and I've seen, all types of stuff from, men carrying fake babies to movies like Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of concepts of if men had to go through what women are going through, how would they react? Well, in reality, that's not really going to happen. If it does happen, maybe it won't happen in my lifetime. That's pretty, that's pretty different. It may not happen, but in my opinion, we do go through some things, and I know I went through some things. I went through an interesting time. The anxiety during that time is just through the roof. It's definitely through the roof, and you're always thinking about, what do I do now? Should I start buying diapers? What should I do? What should I bring? What should I leave at the house? What should I bring? What do I bring to the hospital? It's just so many thoughts running through your mind, and you can never just compartmentalize it all and organize it all enough to think straight. But we got to, man. We got to. And like I said, my wife found a whole bunch of links and different things that let me know what she was going through during these times, so I wasn't in the dark. Because you cannot be in the dark during this time. You have to know what's going on, so you can sympathize, empathize, and just be helpful. You have to know what's going on, man. Fathers, you gotta know. This is the time to step it up. If you wasn't good in school, well, you better be good at this, man. This is the time to study and learn. I learned a lot, and I'm really grateful and happy that I did learn all these things. There's information out there for us, and let's take advantage. Definitely. I found a bunch of information online. Not all of it pertained to men and what we go through, but I did find some good information. I want to go through it with y'all during this episode. As long as you're present during this time, we're all not present. As long as you're present during this time, I believe that you will definitely go through some changes yourself. It may be mental, it may be physical, it may be both, but you're definitely going to go through some changes. First of all, your schedule is going to change. You have to make sure your schedule is going to become our schedule. There's no more you in that schedule. You have to adjust. Definitely have to adjust what you're doing, when you're doing it, who you're doing it with. I'm going to pause on that one. And you got to just adjust life, Same way when your job tells you to do something different, you're going to keep doing it. Well, you got to do it for this too. This is a job. Don't get paid. You got to pay for this job. But the dividends will be beautiful when you invest in this. Trust me. The child will be the best investment you've ever made in your life. I can guarantee that. We do go through some type of transformation. I know we do. Like I said, many will say no. We don't go through anything. But we do go through some type of transformation. I do believe that. And the transformation, in my opinion, if I may say so myself, especially if you have a child already, but if you're a first-time father, you need to know that now it's time to transform. You have to step into that phone booth and do 360-degree spins, and put on your cape. Because as my wife says, you need to be extra super dad. Extra super dad. That's all you got to do. You got to step it up, put that cape on. If you wear tights, whatever you do, whatever kind of superhero you are, put it on. Your special exoskeleton suit. Time for that, man. You got to power up like Dragon Ball Z. It might take you a few episodes to get to full power, but once you get there, you got to go. You got to go and don't stop. She needs you, man. She needs you. They all need you. The baby needs you, and she needs you. It's time to step it up. It's not time to be lackadaisical. We can't procrastinate like we used to. You got to get on your game, get on your dean, and make sure she's good and the baby is good. That's your only concern during that time. And that's going to be a big change for a lot of men. It really is. A lot of men don't know how to conform to someone else's schedule, to someone else's will and what they need. But as soon as that baby conceives, it's time. It's time to step it up and change. Same way you had to change from high school to college, or, from, college to the league, whatever you're doing, man, you just gotta keep leveling up. And this is part of that level up. And you gotta make sure that you are there to be her superhero. You know? Black fathers, I'm talking to you. This is for y'all. Of course, all fathers gotta be the superhero. This is, I'm talking to black fathers, but this is something that's still really generic for fathers in general. Every father has to step it up during this time. But I don't know about other fathers. I only know about my own kind. That's all I can really speak on, because that's what I've experienced. So I'm going to keep speaking on that, because the Black Fatherhood Podcast is the place for that. We're here to discuss that. You know what I'm talking about? And this is an extra super dad time. The first and, from what I hear, the third trimester. Both of these trimesters are a time when the woman can be at her most vulnerable. She can be the most tired as her body transitions from everyday life to becoming a vessel for life. Her body's transition, I'm going to say it one more time, from everyday life to becoming a vessel for life. She will not have that same energy. She won't be as enthusiastic about getting up to do things, because this may sound funny, but to be frank, because now she gets up, she just might have to pee every single time before sitting back down. She just might have to, and that's okay, because your body is preparing. Her body's preparing to do something magical that a man can't even conceive or possibly understand. We don't understand. You can be a doctor and just know the ins and outs on paper and seen it in real life, but you don't really understand. We don't really know how this stuff happens. We just understand the functions of it. So, as a father who may not be a doctor, you really don't know what she's going through at all. You really don't know. But you're going to find out very, very soon, real live and in person. And so you have to be super, extra, super dad. You got to be that guy, man, because she needs you. Got to make these changes. Be more sensitive. Be more forgiving. And we can't make a big deal out of the small stuff. Not anymore. The small stuff does not matter anymore. All that matters is that small little zygote turning fetus, turning baby that you need to take care of. That is the small, huge thing that you got to worry about. That is it. The first trimester is when you're going to start to realize all these things. Hopefully moving forward in the second and third trimesters, it's just something that you build on, and you don't have to be reminded of these things. If you really need to be reminded of these things, you can just keep rewinding the Black Fatherhood Podcast, and we'll keep talking about it as you keep listening. You know what I'm talking about? Let's just keep it going. But seriously, man, you gotta be more sensitive. You gotta be more attentive to her, and let those annoyances roll off your shoulders. It takes a lot, and I've definitely fallen victim to not being good at that. Definitely have not been good at that stuff at all. I get irritated easily. I get irritated very easily, and I learned the hard way, and unfortunately, she learned the hard way that this is just not the way to be. And now I know. So I know for next time, wink, wink, that I have to let these things roll off my shoulders. I have to be more attentive, be there as she needs me. I got to be there before she needs me. I got to be proactive. We definitely have to be proactive as black fathers. We just have to make sure we can anticipate what might be needed. We're not going to know everything, but there's a way to know some things, like how to make somebody comfortable. If you love her, if you know her, you should know how to make her comfortable. And this is that time when you can just really dive into that and help her be at her most comfortable and less stressful, Don't need stress for that baby. Be there, guys. Got to be there. It may be best to reduce or quit bad habits like smoking or excessive drinking. Even if you don't quit, just reduce. Just reduce it during this time if it's possible. Addiction is real. I get it. I understand. But try to reduce just for her because she can't do nothing. Hopefully, she's not doing anything. Sometimes that's not the case. That's real talk. But try to reduce those things that just could harm the baby or just harm your partner's perception of you. Because if you're out there still looking like you're partying, having a good time, and all she can do is, work or watch TV or hang out without really, indulging in the same stuff that y'all used to indulge in when y'all first got together, it just doesn't look good, man, when you're out there having the greatest time of your life. She just has to sit there and be pregnant, I'm sure she's not just sitting there. Hopefully she's actually getting things done. Most women are. Women are master multitaskers, if I may say so. But, you just got to be there in solidarity. You got to make sure that y'all are on one accord and in harmony. And when you're in harmony, oh, man, trust me, I know that baby will come out beautifully. You're going to love yourself for it. You should. You definitely should love yourself for it if you are able to do that. So try to reduce those addictions. Try to reduce those bad habits that you have. It might not even be an addiction, just something you enjoy, but just try to reduce it. Just try to calm that down a little bit just for her and that baby. If drinking is one of those things that you got to cut down, you should do it. Even if it's just for that time, just do it. It's not your whole life. It's just that moment in time. Never know, even during that first trimester, that first 13 weeks, you never know when you got to jump in the car and drive to the hospital for an emergency that you weren't ready for. Let's just say this is pre-COVID. You might have been out with your boys and had a good time, come home thinking everything's good, go to sleep for 2 seconds, and then you're woken up by an emergency and y'all got to run to the hospital. Can't do that. Can't do that drunk. I mean, you can Uber nowadays, so there is another way to do it, but I'm just saying, who wants to pay for that? Not you, not me, not the baby. Another thing you can do is try to eat healthier. It's very easy to gain sympathy weight, as they say. But also, just if your partner has ready-made meals, healthy meals created by you, she might be more inclined to eat better too. If you're the one helping out with the cooking, or even if you have somebody, your village helping out with cooking too, just try to offer healthier options, healthier meals. It'll be better for everybody. And if you happen to be the one gaining that sympathy weight, you probably won't really gain much because you'll be eating healthier, So just something to consider, I think. I love eating healthy. I'm definitely a fan of eating good, but healthy, which is very possible, especially nowadays. Growing up, it was a lot harder with fewer options, but now healthy food is everywhere and it's cheap now. There's no excuse. So make sure you make some good meals for your significant other, man. Just do that because, they're going to need it. And that baby, most importantly, is going to need it. Everything is about her and the baby. Nothing else. Put on that cape, spin around in that phone booth, and become the superhero that they need. That's all you got to do. It sounds easy, right? It sounds easy just to become a superhero, right? Sounds like a Pixar movie, right? And again, I got to stress, man, your schedule is not your own. Your schedule is everybody's schedule. Everybody is on your schedule, and you are on everybody's schedule. Sounds about right. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it's got to be. You have no choice in that. Definitely. And I did find some research online, a slight study about, I call it a slight study because it was a small pool of people that they put in the research study. And, it was mostly white couples that they did. I got to say that. Because it matters as far as, who research is done on. And, different groups of people react to things differently, you know? So you definitely have to widen your search when it comes to research. But there was a study that was done by Robin Edelstein. Robin Edelstein is an associate professor of psychology at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And did a study basically just seeing what the effects were on a father during a woman's pregnancy. Is there any hormonal changes for a man when a woman is pregnant? And I thought this was very interesting. Even though the results are not conclusive, I thought it was still definitely interesting that this was done. And so in this study, Robin Edelstein, the professor, she says, what we found is there is a gradual decline in men's testosterone. And this study was done in 2014, about 6 years ago, in the American Journal of Human Biology. Edelstein said, few studies have looked at whether men might show hormonal changes as their partner proceeds through pregnancy, which I'm sure is true. I definitely looked up things along these lines as far as the kind of changes men go through, and you really don't see anything besides this study. She did have an idea, and she said she believes that men with lower testosterone might be better caregivers, as they would be less aggressive. So it would make sense, she's saying, that a gradual decline in their testosterone and our testosterone would make sense. If we're less aggressive, we're better nurturers, we're going to be more attentive, and maybe we would just be less quick to react to small things, those small annoyances that I was speaking about earlier. And that is the time to reduce your reactions to these things. So her idea does make sense, and her thoughts do make sense. I really do wish this study was a bit broader. It was about 29 couples that they researched. She says the change might be about psychologically preparing to be a father, or the so-called sympathy weight gain by fathers-to-be might explain the lower testosterone. She did say the change might be about psychologically preparing to be a father. This is all speculation. She said, or this could also be about the so-called sympathy weight, the weight gained by fathers-to-be that might explain the lower testosterone. So I guess the more weight gain could equal lower testosterone. And I guess she's saying this could be a reason why our testosterone lowers in some cases, at least in the cases that she researched. I definitely gained some weight during this time. I just posted a picture on my Instagram yesterday, and at Black Fatherhood Podcast. And I almost forgot about the little gut that I had when my wife was pregnant, man. I had my baby in this picture sitting on my gut. It's a beautiful picture, of the baby. But that gut, oh my goodness. I don't know how beautiful that was, but hey, the baby needs something to sit on, right? I don't have no hips for the baby to sit on. I'm not the mother, but I did have a little gut. I can't say do, but I did have a little gut during that time to have my baby sit on. Sympathy weight is real. It's there. It's something you need to pay attention to, guys. That's what I say. Make healthy food during this time. Necessary, man. I see so many men, especially black fathers, man. In my circles, in my neighborhood, those guts grow and they grow and they grow. And after that baby's born, I see them continue to grow. Now with me, in my case, I'm Mr. Skinny Mini. I don't have these issues as far as constant weight gain. That was the first time I had ever gained weight like that, and most likely the last. We'll see what happens. That's just not something that I go through, but I see it all the time, and I went through it during those months, and it really lasted the whole pregnancy and after. I couldn't believe that my gut was there for so long. I don't know how it went away. It's just one day I looked down and I could see everything. That's all I'm going to say. It's a blessing to not have sympathy weight. I'll tell you that much. I'm happy that, hey, something happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if happy is the right word, but, at least something happened just to show that, my woman's taking good care of me. And I'm also sympathizing, with this. I'm not just in the shadows, not doing nothing. I'm here. I'm grinding. I'm also not sleeping. I'm also gaining weight, baby. I'm here for you. You know, we in this together. But you definitely have to be careful with the we. The term we during a pregnancy is not always good because it's literally her going through everything. And the little things that men go through can never compare to what a woman's going through. Just remember that. So we is not a word you need to be using. You know, it is our baby, but we did not go through this. Trust me. Remember that. That is a jewel and a gem. Keep that in mind. So I thought it was interesting that, you know, the study was done. I found some interesting information online. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of stuff out here about that first trimester. You know, as far as what couples go through, not a whole bunch about what men go through, but hey, I'm sure we can find some more studies and I can do some more research to find out exactly what men are going through. I think more universities, more professors, PhD candidates need to look into this and see what men go through. You know, it's not going to be me. I mean, I could do a little bit of studying here and there. Some real researchers need to look into this because this is something that's just not talked about enough. I guess people really don't believe that men go through anything. And I'm here to tell you in this episode that we do. We go through things, man. It happens for real, for real. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew men have changes too, man. And it's not really physical for the most part. But we have to go through a lot of psychological changes as far as, you know, like I was saying, changing our schedules, changing our mindset, the way we eat, changing our bad habits. We can keep the good habits, but changing our bad habits, it's just a few different things that we have to go through. And these are things that men should expect to do. We have to change how aggressive we are, how we respond to things. There's definitely a lot for us to change. And I want to let men know because this information is not out there. They don't tell you this in the children's sex ed class. They don't talk about this in college, grad school, none of this, man. You just have to learn as it happens. Everybody has to learn as it happens. People don't talk about nothing. But you can go online and discover, you know, what every other woman has gone through. Can't really go online and discover what every other man's gone through, especially what every other black father's gone through. So here in the Black Fatherhood Podcast, we talk about that. I'm glad to give you all this information. Couldn't give y'all nothing too in-depth. Unfortunately, we can definitely touch on this again, but the first trimester is only the beginning. We definitely have more information to give you on the Black Fatherhood Podcast. You know, my goal with this podcast in general and with this episode is to let men know that you are not invisible. You are definitely not invisible. We understand that you have feelings too. We understand that you go through changes during this time too. Not nearly to the same extreme, but we go through small changes as well. And those can be acknowledged. It's okay for us to acknowledge those feelings. And hey, it's cool to let women know that we're also going through changes as well. Probably not during this time. During the pregnancy, you don't want to let her know all this stuff. No, but you can let her know after the baby's born, after maybe, some months in, as she's had some time to slowly start to adjust. Because it does take a lot of time for women to adjust, man. Definitely. Postpartum is real. Bodily changes are real. Just be mindful. Like I said at the top of this, man, just be mindful. You should be okay. But the purpose of this is just to give men a little bit of guidance about what goes on during this time because you may not know anything. This is the first trimester. It's okay not to know anything because none of us really knew anything at all. And we were lucky if we had fathers or uncles or grandfathers to tell us anything. They might not have said anything at all, but hey, right here, we're going to say something. You can share this with everybody. Share this with the world and let them know that we understand here at the Black Fatherhood Podcast. And of course, to end things off, got to give y'all my social media. But first, I want to start something new and give y'all the fatherhood quote of the week. It's something new I want to start off here on the Black Fatherhood Podcast. Give y'all a little taste of things that I'm reading and things that I'm absorbing, week by week. And so the fatherhood quote of the week, episode 3, is an African proverb found on the Zimbabwean, is that a word? I don't know. Zimbabwean website. And the proverb goes like this: a family is like a forest. When you are outside, it is dense. But when you are inside, you see that each tree has its place. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful proverb. I like that a lot. I specifically wanted to give an African proverb because all the fatherhood quotes that I found could definitely almost guarantee that they did not come from a black man. And I just wanted to keep this real succinct, keep it to the point and on purpose, you know? Make sure that the Black Fatherhood Podcast is all around to and for and from a black father. So the quotes got to match, definitely. And of course, like I said at the top of this, please subscribe to the YouTube at Black Fatherhood Podcast, Instagram at Black Fatherhood Podcast, YouTube group. It's a private group where you can share your feelings. We invite all to join the Facebook group. We invite everybody to the Facebook group. I am thinking about making a little bit of a change and creating a second spinoff to the Facebook group that's just for black fathers specifically, so we can really talk about what's going on for us. But as of right now, Black Fatherhood Podcast Facebook group, that's for everybody, open to the public, although it is private. So, you know, I can send you the invite. You can hit me up on Facebook at Ro Jones. I'm there, ROW Jones. But you can find it. It's a private group, but you can still join it. You can still find it as long as you search for it. And Twitter, we're at Black Fatherhood. It's a weird Twitter handle. I don't know how this happened, but it's Black Fatherhood without the D, but it's a number 1 instead. So I can't even begin to tell you how to pronounce that, but that's what it is on Twitter. Where else are we at? You can email me at blackfatherhoodpodcast@gmail.com. Send me some feedback on the show. Send me anything. Send me some pictures of black fathers. I would love to get some pictures, man, from the public. So any black fathers out there with your kids, send me some pictures at blackfatherhoodpodcast@gmail.com. Send me some beautifulness, man. We'll share it on the Instagram. I love these beautiful images. We'll share it on Facebook. If you'd like, give me your permission to do it, and I'll do it. No problem at all. Even if you got some music that might, be specific to this podcast, please, hey, send me something, man. Send me some original music that's, has no copyright restrictions. Can't play that at all. But send me something original that, that we can play that has to do with black fatherhood. I would love to play that for you. If you got beats, producers, man, if you got beats, send me some beats. I got some nice original beats for this podcast, but I definitely would take more. And we could promote you on the podcast and, just have mutual understanding with that. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all for listening. Thank you so much. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Like it. We got some new content coming up. I can't wait to show y'all the interviews that we got going on. Just keep it locked right here, man. Black Fatherhood Podcast. It's going great. It's going good. Appreciate y'all for joining the hood. Peace.
Black fatherhood, my kind of hood, my kind of hood.